Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today we're going to look at the murder of Trooper David Blanton, North Carolina State Trooper. Now, Trooper Blanton was 24 years old. He had 2 years with the Highway Patrol. Now, Trooper Blanton was the first member of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee tribe to become a North Carolina trooper. Now, he was stationed with Troop G, District 5 there in North Carolina. Now, he left behind a wife and a son. Now, at the time of his death, his son was 2 weeks old. His son's name was Ty. Now, little Ty, he came out and he was sick. Now, Ty, he lived to be 4 months old. He died in October of 2008. So if there's anything good to come out of all this, his little Ty got to go to heaven and see his daddy. Now, the suspect in all this, the evildoer, he is like so many of them. He is absolutely no good. Most of his nefarious crimes occurred in Florida, and he got a long list of convictions, felony convictions, violent felony convictions in the great state of Florida. Now, the following information is going to come from the North Carolina Appellate Court. It's June 17th, 2008. Trooper Blanton, he's in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 40. Now, he's there in Haywood County. Now, he's west of exit 31. That's the exit for Canton. Now, he's motoring along there and he notices a GMC pickup truck, and it's towing a dolly, and there's a Nissan Altima on that dolly. And it's 10:11 p.m. Now, Trooper Blanton, he punches that tag number in on his computer inside his car, and the computer comes back and says that that plate number is not on file. It doesn't exist. Now, 2 minutes later, Trooper Blanton, he gets on the radio and he hollers at the dispatchers, has them to run it. Now, they check it through their databases and they come back and say that there's just no registration, that tags doesn't exist. So 10:21 p.m., Trooper Blanton, he lights up the suspect's vehicle. Suspect pulls over there on the right shoulder of I-40, just right there at exit 31, just right before you get to the exit ramp. Now, Trooper Blanton's got a dash camera in his car, and he's wearing a body mic. Now, the information from that camera and the body mic would later be used in the trial. Also, there were several drivers that went by on I-40 that witnessed the stop and or the shooting. Now, Trooper Blanton, when he first got out of his car, he went up to the right side of the truck, which is the side of the truck away from the traffic, which is the smart thing, the wise thing to do if you're making a traffic stop on the interstate. Now, Trooper Blanton asked the suspect that he needs to step out of the truck. Now, Trooper Blanton, he walked all the way back past the truck and past the trailer and stood at the back of the trailer, and you can see him on the camera waiting on the driver. Now, he gets all the way back there and he's standing there waiting, and the suspect still hadn't got out of the truck. So Trooper Blanton, he whistles for him. And once he does that, Trooper Blanton, he moves to the right side of the truck there in the grass, out of camera range. Now you see the suspect get out and walk back, cut between the Trooper Blanton's car and the back of the dolly. Now he asks the suspect where he was traveling from. And then at some point in this conversation, Trooper Blanton tells the suspect that he needs to come sit in his patrol car. And the trooper said he needed to pat the suspect down before he put him in the back of the car. Now Trooper Blanton, he tells the suspect put his hands up. Now the suspect, who is the wily felon that he is, of course he starts delaying tactics. He asks the officer if he's being arrested. Trooper Blanton says no. He says he's conducting a Terry frisk. Then the suspect does the usual shuck and jive about Trooper Blanton pulling him over for no reason. Now the only reason the suspect's doing this, he's stalling for time because he's plotting what he's getting ready to do. So Trooper Blanton tells the suspect that his license plate was registered to a different vehicle than the one on which it's attached to. Trooper Blanton goes on to tell him that that's a misdemeanor offense and that the suspect could be arrested for it. Now the suspect, according to the transcribed conversation between the two that the appellate court in North Carolina included in the appeal, the suspect said, I don't want to sit down if I don't have to. And then Trooper Blanton says, okay, fair enough. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. And then he says something to the effect of, now you have to. And then evidently the suspect stepped away because Trooper Blanton says, come here. Then the defendant, he's got a gun in his waistband. He pulls it out. You don't see it, but you hear him say, hey, I got a gun on me right now. Right here. And you hear Trooper Blanton holler, stop, 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 and then you hear 3 gunshots. Now, Trooper Blanton is hit. The suspect says, I'll shoot you. Well, we're past that point. You've already shot the trooper. Now, Trooper Blanton tells him to take it easy and tells him don't shoot him anymore. Lets him know that he's got a child at the house. Don't shoot him anymore. Now, there's a few minutes that go on between the two. The suspect wants the trooper's gun, and with the help of Trooper Blanton, the suspect's able to get the pistol out of the holster. The suspect then wants the keys for the car. I don't know if, I take it Trooper Blanton had the keys on him. Well, he takes Trooper Blanton's service weapon, which is a Sig Sauer P229, which is what I carried with Memphis there at the end. And he threw Trooper Blanton's keys and measured 17 feet from the guardrail where they were standing. And then you finally see the suspect come back on camera view, and he's walking back to his truck, and then he drives off on I-40, but he takes off and goes down the exit at exit 31. Now, some witnesses in a tractor trailer drive by, and according to them, they saw the suspect push the trooper back and then draw a gun from underneath his shirt, because it helps now that the suspect was a heavy-set fella, so it's easier to hide that pistol when you got that gut. They said they saw Trooper Blanton take his hands and shield his face. Several of the motors driving by said they heard the gunshots. They heard 3 gunshots. They also saw the suspect patting Trooper Blanton down, and that's probably when he was getting the pistol away from Trooper Blanton. Now, calls go out to the police that Trooper's been shot, and then they put out a description on the truck and the trailer. Well, Suspect, when he pulled off the exit there, I don't know where he went. One of those businesses right there off the exit, I'm sure. And he unhooked that trailer. And then he gets back in his truck and he enters the interstate and continues eastbound on I-40. Well, now, one of the local detectives, he sees the defendant, gets to following him. And the suspect, he cranks off some rounds at the detective. Now, at around 10:37, you've got multiple police officers from different jurisdictions in on this chase. Now, the suspect, he goes back off I-40 at the next exit, at least that's my understanding. And he goes on some of the back roads. And finally, the suspect is detained, and miraculously, he's not shot. Now, when the suspect is arrested, he's got Trooper Blanton's pistol, and he's got 2 other semi-automatic pistols with him. They check his truck, and he's got 316 grams of marijuana, 57 pills of ecstasy, drug paraphernalia, on and on and on, 82 grams of various cutting agents for the ecstasy, and he's got $5,000 in cash and 4 cell phones. Now, Trooper Blanton is taken to Memorial Mission Hospital in Nashville. He gets there at 10:55 p.m. Now, they put the trauma team on him, but they just couldn't do anything in time because of the internal bleeding. Trooper Blanton was pronounced dead at 11:47 p.m. Cause of death, multiple gunshot wounds. Now, the fatal round struck just below his vest. So he was basically gut shot, and he bled out. Now, the suspect, he was convicted of first-degree murder on October 14, 2010. He was also convicted of armed robbery, attempted first-degree murder, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver ecstasy, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver marijuana, and 3 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon. Well, just in federal court, that would get him about 30 or 40 years, just those pistols. Now, the suspect, he got life with no parole on the first-degree murder conviction. He got 117 months to 150 months for the armed robbery, 251 months to 311 months for the attempted first-degree murder, 11 to 14 months and 8 to 10 months for the 2 drug charges, and 20 to 24 months for the 3 firearm charges. So he'll be in prison, I would assume, for the rest of his life. So now he'll just be a hazard and a threat to correctional officers in the North Carolina prison system. Trooper David Sean Blanton, Jr. End of watch, June 17th, 2008.